Hey guys, we ran into a couple of delays working on the house. So the next episode of Building Modern on a Budget will come out in just a few days. I received lots and lots of questions wanting to know what we're working on and what's the status. So I decided to make just a quick little video talking about one of the steps that was kind of challenging for us. We had to find a way for just Bryce and I to be able to hang OSB on the entire shop, including the 18-foot tall ceiling.
This video is brought to you by the Home Depot rental. As we started working on the ground level, attaching the OSB was a pretty straightforward process. One of the benefits of framing the shop ourselves is that we intentionally spaced our windows 4 feet apart. This meant we were able to hang full sheets between the windows and minimize the amount of cutting that we would have to do. Since the wall on the west side of the shop is over 18 feet tall, we knew pretty early on we were going to need to bring in some special equipment. We contacted our local Home Depot rental center, and they had exactly what we needed. So we started this morning hanging OSB on the tall walls of the shop from ladders, and we quickly discovered that sucks. But we now have some reinforcement.
We have help.
We have a scissor lift! We knew sheeting the really tall wall and especially the ceiling of the shop was going to be really difficult. So we planned ahead and we ordered a scissor lift from Home Depot Rental. In addition to the scissor lift, the Home Depot Rental also delivered a heavy-duty 6-gallon air compressor from DeWalt, as well as a 21-degree collated framing nailer. I know, you're saying, wait, I thought you were using screws on the OSB. We did, but I'll explain why we needed the nailer in just a second. Although we've used them in the past, this was our first time renting a piece of heavy equipment, and I have to say I was really impressed. We were able to schedule the rental of the scissor lift, air compressor, and nail gun online, and it was available to be delivered early in the morning on the day we requested, just in time to get to work. We started by cutting down a sheet of OSB so that the seams of our sheets would align with the center of the trusses. My job was to lift the sheets up to Bryce, and then Bryce started to attach them to the ceiling. We decided to use a trick that we saw our drywallers using when they installed drywall on the ceiling of the house. Trying to hold sheets of 1/2-inch OSB over our heads while we drove all the screws would be really difficult. So instead, once we hoisted the sheet up flush to the bottom side of the trusses, we used the DeWalt pneumatic framing nailer to tack a couple of nails into the corners. The nails grabbed the wood almost instantly and worked to temporarily hold the sheet in place while we could follow up and secure the entire sheet with 1 1/4-inch screws. Using the scissor lift not only felt so much safer than trying to stand on 12-foot ladders, the ability to move it around and adjust it so easily saved us tons and tons of time. We would take turns passing the quick drive back and forth so that our shoulders would have a second to rest. As we worked our way to the tall side of the shop ceiling, most of the sheets needed to be cut into smaller sizes. I hopped on the circular saw while my father-in-law went up the scissor lift with Bryce. You've probably seen the Home Depot rental trucks driving around, but did you know you can rent almost any tool a DIYer needs? Everything from hand tools to small power tools, even up to large-scale equipment like skid steers and forklifts. I have to say I was very impressed with the quality of the tools and the scissor lift we rented. Everything was cleaned, well-oiled, and well-maintained. If you're curious why we decided to finish the walls with OSB as opposed to something more typical like drywall, I'll talk more about it in our next full episode of Building Modern on a Budget, coming out in just a few days.
Like I mentioned, the next episode of Building Modern on a Budget will be coming out in just a few days. You won't want to miss it because we are starting to get into some of the more design options and pretty stuff. Enjoy getting caught up on the series. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to work.